Once every year in November, Australia is swept by a voluntary attack of cup fever. On the great day of the Melbourne Cup, the nation's offices and industries momentarily come to a halt as everyone tries to pick the winner. Preparations are underway to make Cup Day of '62 the biggest ever. Already, more than £1 million has been spent on improvements to accommodation and facilities. During the carnival, a helicopter service will operate from the city and Essendon Airport. VRC committee man Fred Gilder has banded together many civic and commercial organizations to make it a carnival of fashions, flowers and favorites. These charming guests have arrived for a preview of preparations. At Flemington, the large gardening staff have planted over 250,000 spring annuals. Imagine the planning to ensure that all these will bloom on time. So many seedlings are required that the course has its own extensive nursery. Here's something new. The first escalator ever installed on a racecourse in Australia. Makes it easier to carry one's winnings back to the stand. To satisfy a punter's thirst, there are 27 bars, inappropriate decor.
Don't you just love that old footage? It's absolutely fantastic. Yes, memories of the Melbourne Cup. Peter Donegan, you would have plenty. You've been coming for a very long time. I remember 1961 because I was only 10, but I remember my dad coming home absolutely happy as, and also full as, having backed Lord Fury. Now, you'll correct me if I'm wrong. I think one of the oldest horses to win the Melbourne Cup in '61.
I'm not exactly sure how old he was, Tim, but I know that Ray Selkirk rode him, Lord Fury, back in 1961, and yeah, I've got some great memories of it. First one I saw was 1970, and we were just having a look at the piece about Dulcify, Tim, and I just said to Jen, that is the saddest day I think I've ever spent at the races. It was just awful. You were here too, Jen?
Yes, I was here. I was actually up near where it happened as well, so it was awful. And whenever that happens, it's the worst thing that can happen in racing, but there's a lot of great stuff as well.
Yeah, it's changed a bit over the years, Flemington, and it's going to change some more because we've got this new members' grandstand being built, and it's going to be ready in time for the year 2000. And I'm sure John Elliott will be there. He's been up in the committee box over the last few days singing a song with the people down below, and he really loves the carnival.
He does. He was conducting the music there. It was quite funny the other day, actually.
And just looking ahead again to next week, a new event on the card, really, the Sandown Classic. As we've been mentioning with Bart Cummings and David Hall, looks like being a terrific race because it's $500,000, so it's doubled in prize money practically. It's weight for age, and a lot of people get to the last day of our Melbourne Cup Carnival here at Flemington and think, well, that's the end of the Spring Carnival, but it's not quite over yet.
Well, I think, you know, racing has become so much more popular over the last 3 or 4 years, Peter, and a lot of younger people are coming to the races, and it's just great. So it seems to go on, and of course, there's no footy around either.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and we mentioned the construction here at Flemington. There's been a lot of refurbishments done at Sandown. It is a very different racecourse now, tremendous creature comforts there, and won't there be here at Flemington next year when we get here for the opening of that wonderful new stand. So there it is, the official closing of the Spring Racing Carnival at Sandown next Saturday for the $500,000 smoke-free Sandown Classic. Sandown Guineas is on the program too, and the Sandown Stakes, so it's a wonderful day. We'll take a break. A lot more to come here at Flemington in our last half hour, including hopefully the winner of the last race.
Oh, let's hope we can get out there.
So just give us the tip before we go to the break.
Typhoon Barney, number 5.
Yeah, that's ours for the last. Good luck to you, and we'll be back at Flemington after this break on Network 10 around Australia. On the face of Brett Prebble there, a look of determination that he's had right throughout the carnival, and the look of a winner. Isn't that a great reaction shot as Brett Prebble crosses the line to break Jack Purtell's record, 9 wins over the carnival, and it was a very emotional Brett Prebble at the presentation. He could hardly speak. The tears were flowing. It is a great achievement for him, and a great achievement for a fellow we get used to talking to on Network 10, Jimmy Cassidy, who has won the Ron Hutchinson Excellence Award. Pumper?
Thank you very much, Pete.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, what an honour. It's time of the year to rise to the occasion, and you know, the hard races. There's been a lot of good rides over the carnival, and I must say I'm absolutely thrilled to win this trophy.
It is a very prestigious award when it carries the name of one of our finest ever horsemen.
Oh, look, for sure, to win a trophy like this and have a look at it, Pete, it's just a magnificent trophy, and also to Emirates, the business class airfares paid by Emirates is just fantastic. Really topped a great carnival off for me.
Hope you've been eating your Weet-Bix. You're going to need it to carry that trophy. It's pretty heavy.
There's plenty of weight in it, Pete, I can assure you that.
Here's the finish of the Emirates Stakes today with Bonanova, and we spoke to Graham Begg after the race. She is just 100% racehorse, isn't she?
She's only a pony, but gee, look, she dug deep that last 100, Pete, when she had to. I was surprised that Unrum stuck on as well as he did. But look, she's a bonny little mare. Great training performance by Graham, and she's only had the 2 runs back in. And you know, Graham set her for this race some 6 months ago in Brisbane. So it's the old saying, love it when a plan comes together, mate.
Yeah, wonderful when a training plan does come together. And imagine when she goes out and has a foal, this little one, by obviously a top sire. It's going to be worth something, and if it inherits any of its mother's courage, it'll be pretty good.
You want big pockets when you go to buy it, I know that.
I think so. Jimmy, congratulations. We've got to let you go because the horses are in the yard for the last. There is the Ron Hutchinson Excellence Award. Congratulations to you, and again, thanks for all your cooperation over the carnival with Network 10.
Always a pleasure. Thanks very much to Channel 10. Fantastic.
Good on you, Jim.
Thank you, Pete.
Jimmy Cassidy, the Ron Hutchinson Excellence Award winner. He's dashing off now to get the skull cap and the whip, and he'll be hopping aboard Go the Grey in the final event on the card. And as I said, candidates are in the mounting yard, and we'll be taking a look at these runners in just a moment. In fact, why don't we start now with Go the Grey, to be ridden by Jimmy Cassidy for Max Lees. And what did you make of his chances, Jen?
Well, just going on his last run, I thought he found the pace a little bit too hot, Peter. He got held up at the 500, and then after that he just wasn't knocked about. He wasn't disgraced there, and I'd forgive him for that particular run. And despite his 59 kilos, I think he's a chance he handles the wet.
Looks well. Sometimes it's hard to tell how the Greys look, but he does look very well in the mounting yard. Number 4, Lord Kingston, Damien Oliver, the rider for Simon Morris at Ballarat.
He just died on his run at his last start at Moonee Valley. He strips a lot fitter going into this race, and I'd give him an each-way chance, Peter. The only thing is he's had one go on the wet track and he hasn't figured in the placings, but one go, you've got to forgive them.
We've all gone for Typhoon Barney, number 5, so we want to bring the carnival home on a winning note. Stephen Arnold, can he do it for Russell Cameron?
Well, it was a terrific win in the Seymour Cup. He was last and he stormed home. He loves Flemington, 1,400 metres. There's a good pace here. That will suit him. He'll get back and he should be running on very strongly at the end, and he likes to sting out.
He has one in the wet. Number 7, Sorrento, Darren Gauci for John Size.
His first up run was quite good. He ran on well. He's probably crying out for a bit more distance than the 1,400 metres, but in saying that, he should be running on quite strongly towards the end of this, maybe a place chance.
Nice looking animal. He's just having a bit of a look at the members as they stand there under the 10 umbrellas and look at him and survey the scene before the last. 9 Anxiety Attack. You had one of those before when it started raining. Jim Collett is the rider for Michael Moroney.
I might add, I'm still drenched, but anyway, I'm getting through it. This horse has been racing well. He does need to be ridden back. If he is ridden back here, he should be running on very well at the end of this, and he does like the wet track, so I've given him an each-way chance.
Let's go down to number 15, and that is Mystic Morse. Eddie Wilkinson is the rider for Tony Dinan at Tatura.
Yes, this horse has been racing extremely well, Peter. If you have a look at his recent record, he was midfield at Caulfield. He got a terrific run through and he bolted in. He's a wet tracker, there's no doubt about that. So if you're taking a trifecta or Quinella, he's one to throw in.
Yeah, it was a lovely ride that day at Caulfield, wasn't it? And 19 Dance Music, and there is a riding change here, and you can see that Raymond Shane Dye is aboard replacing Damien Oliver.
Yes, he was wide all the way at Caulfield last start, and he was there where they weren't winning on that particular occasion. He will need to get some luck from barrier 18, and if you look at his wet form as well, he's only had the one try on it, so we can't really dismiss him. His form's pretty good. He's there with a place chance.
Yes, I can tell you that he hasn't drawn barrier 0 as we saw there, because that would make it very difficult, because he would be over the inside rail and would be competing with the ambulance then, and I think the ambulance would probably win. What'd you make of the last?
Well, I'm going to stick with number 5, Typhoon Barney. I think he can win from number 15, Mystic Morse, and number 9, Anxiety Attack.
Yeah, Typhoon Barney for me, and he's the favourite, Dan, for the final event on the card.
With also Go the Grey and Lord Kingston well in commission, numbers 1 and 4. $3.30 for Typhoon Barney, $11 for the mare Sorrento, $26 for Fashion News, $11 Anxiety Attack, $15 for Slavonic, Brett Preble's ride, Planet King 72, Verino and Blue Gum, they're both at pretty big odds. Mystic Morse at $7.10 is around 4th pick in the race. Lucky Ray, one of the outsiders, and Dance Music given a rough chance as well with Shane Dye. So we're only about 5 minutes away from the last race of the carnival. Tim Gossage, if you're up, this is an opportunity to double up. If you're down, this is an opportunity to get out. Help us.
I'll do my best, Dan. I'll do my best. I can tell you now that Typhoon Barney is friendless in the ring. It certainly has got the blows. No one wants to be aboard it. I did that Go the Grey early, but the best money came from Mystic Morse about 5 minutes ago, and I'll give you one at massive odds. Number 13, Verino, $23 on the tote. You can get about 10 points shorter in the ring. It has been a big go on Verino.
So Verino is the one, number 13, that they've spec'd at long odds. They'll start over on the far side, 1,400 metres. Inside barriers, a definite advantage over this distance at Flemington. And as we said before, Northern Song is a late scratching. So it is out, and both Richard and myself have gone for Typhoon Barney to make it unanimous for the final event here at Flemington. Go the Grey about to lead them out. Scratchings from this last event now are 2, 3, 6 and 12, along with numbers 17 and 18. A couple of those late scratchings being Northern Song and Lord of the Pines. Stephen Baster rides number 8, Fashion News, and Jim Collett rides number 9, Anxiety Attack. And they're about to head to the gates now for the running of the last race. And I believe Mr. Mark Pearce is about to join us from Clemenger's, who are the sponsors of this last race on the card. Mark, good to see you here. Just pop in over here.
Nice to be here, John.
And this is your first involvement with the Melbourne Cup Carnival?
Yes, it is. It's we've been around a long time, but it is the first time, and it's been a fabulous 4 days.
Now, the first question I've got to ask you, or the second question I've got to ask you is, what is Clemenger BBDO? Because everyone's been asking me.
Look, if I tried to explain it, it'd take half an hour, but it's BBDO is a New York-based advertising agency, and they have a small interest in our organisation. The organisation itself is the biggest advertising agency and communications group across Australia and New Zealand.
Well, I think you've summed that up pretty nicely. You've got a marquee here. You've been enjoying it?
Yeah, look, have you seen the saddlecloths? They look pretty bright, don't they?
They do.
Well,
yep.
the tin's even brighter. We've gone the big bright orange and pink number.
Well, they certainly stand out, and the young ladies, Nikki and Nicole, who present the trophies, I can see them over your shoulder standing there in the mounting yard at the moment, or they were. They've just gone back inside to keep out of the rain, but they're wearing those very bright colours, and there's the saddlecloths there, so they do stand out. Now, this is your race, so we want you to try and give us the winner if you can.
Well, now, hang on, what have I backed, Peter?
Well, I've got the race book there, so
well,
what have you done?
I'll tell you what I've backed. I've backed Planet King for a place.
Yeah.
And I've backed the favourite, Typhoon Barney. So I can't go wrong, can I?
Well, the 6 of us have gone for Typhoon Barney, so that means it's probably got no hope. Mark, good to see you here. Thanks for Clemenger's involvement.
Okay, good on you. We enjoyed.
Mark Pearce joining us from Clemenger, BBDO, and they are the sponsors of the final event on the card. They're heading to the gates now for the running of this last event, and it has been, well, an interesting day weather-wise. Melbourne living right up to its reputation of giving us a few different seasons. We had a lot of dark clouds hovering over the racecourse early. We thought we might have got away with it, but then after about race 6, the downpour came. And of course, race 6 today was the big event on the card. And as we just spoke with Jimmy Cassidy, it was a wonderful performance by Bonanova, number 6, this bonny little 5-year-old mare taking out the money from Umrum, and third placing in the race went to Nina Haraka, which was getting home. And there is the man of the carnival in the blue and white colours there. Just behind, we saw a shot of Brett Preble. There he is. And we did see that he was very emotional. We're taking a look at the Super Tab dividends as Brett goes around to the gates here. But it is a tremendous achievement because Jack Purtell rode 8 winners at this carnival. That was back in 1952. And you think about the riders who have come after him, the great Roy Higgins, our own Roy Higgins, and many of the other riders who've been attempting to ride so many winners over the carnival over the years, and they haven't been able to do it up until Brett Preble has done it. And speaking of Roy Higgins, he joins me now. And you mentioned before that you have ridden 7 winners over the carnival. What an achievement it is for this young man who had such a rough trot at the start of this year after having a terrible fall, which is, as we know, part of a jockey's life, but he's bounced back in the best possible way.
He certainly has, Pete. To the credit of this young guy, even when he was out and he was injured, he was still coming down to the track of the morning, keeping his eye in. He's keen. He's a fitness fanatic. He's got a lot going for him. He's a young professional. When I say young professional, this kid's, what, 22 years of age?
Yep.
And he's got a 35-year-old head on his shoulders, which is excellent. And he's a great judge of pace. And I think this is very important in this modern day. We don't see a lot of it. A lot of the boys are getting very Americanised. But this kid judges his pace well, and that's what you've got to like about him. And he's strong and he's fit.
Did you give his horse Slavonic a chance in the last?
Slavonic's not one of my ideal type of horses. He's one of my ideal good-looking horses. He's a lovely horse, but he seems to find his own bad luck sometimes in races. But if you like him going around there now, I can assure you he is a very fit horse. I like the 5, Typhoon Barney. I've always had a good opinion of this horse. He's back from winning the Seymour Cup. That was over the 16, back to the 14. He'll get back, and as like Sapor in the last, I presume he'll come right down the centre or out wider in the straight, and he'll steam home at the end of the race. Another very very fit and honest horse there, number 4, Lord Kingston. He looked excellent also. He's had the 2 runs from the spell. He always puts in. Going for a little bit of value in my multiple here with number 9, Anxiety Attack. This horse has been racing okay, but he goes so well in soft ground with no weight on his back. And the other horse that I saw at the Werribee Cup meeting, number 15, Mystic Morse. This horse has been in the money all of his 7 runs. He's a very honest horse, and he's by Toy Pindara, and they normally swim. So for the last on a very long carnival, we're going in this order, and I'm going to box up 5, 4, 9 and 15.
Just before we head down to Tim Gossage in the betting ring, your highlight of the carnival, Roy. There have been a few highlights, but I suppose JB Cummings is pretty hard to beat.
Well, yes, you know, how can you go past 11 Melbourne Cups?
Yeah.
It may have been overshadowed a little bit by the great training feats of David Hall and the riding of young Brett Preble, but how can you take anything away from the great man? I said to him the other day again, I said, Bart, I said, only for me you would have only won 9 Melbourne Cups. He said, only for me you wouldn't have won any, so you've got something going, haven't they? Pete, I look forward to seeing you this time here next year. What do you say?
It's always a pleasure, and it's a date. Good on you, Roy.
Thanks, Pete.
Roy Higgins, twice a winner of the Melbourne Cup, courtesy of Sport 927. They're about to move in for the last, and let's go down to a gentleman who's steered us into quite a few winners over the carnival with the late information. Can he do it this time for the 37th time? Tim Gossage, come on, do it.
Okay, Pete, well, they're jumping out of the trees to back Mystic Morse down the bottom, number 15. That's the one they want to be on. There's been late specking for Typhoon Barney and Verino at good odds. Best back runner in the race, though, is Mystic Morse.
Mystic Morse the one, and it did look pretty well. Typhoon Barney is the one that we thought. So the carnival is about to wind down for another year, and congratulations to the VRC, to the hundreds and thousands of people who are responsible for making this carnival what it has been. It's always been big, but over the last few years it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger, and almost 300,000 people have come through the gates here at Flemington over the past 4 days to witness a dramatic day of racing on Derby Day, where the result was decided in the stewards' room. Even more drama on Foster's Melbourne Cup Day, when there was interference for almost the entire 3,200 metres, and a master trainer won his 11th Cup and established a record that I don't think will ever be broken. And then on Thursday, a sentimental favourite in My Sienna with Beverly Buckingham King coming back to Flemington for the first time since she rode here, and she was hoping to walk down to the mounting yard and be part of the presentation. She had to settle for second, but Darren Gauci was a man who answered his critics in the best possible way when he won on tributes. And then that wonderful mare Bonanova completed the big race quadrella when she won this afternoon in the Emirates Stakes and gave Jimmy Cassidy yet another victory and helped him to win the Ron Hutchinson Award. It has been a carnival of highlights, and let's hope that they walk in nicely into the stores in the last. It looks as though 1 or 2 are getting a little bit on their toes. Here are 2 men who've done a fantastic job. Dan Malicki, well called. Gary Willits, well tipped.
Thank you very much, Peter. It's been great here, and it was great to be here, to be privileged to see Bart train his 11th Cup winner. Tremendous.
Far Rain, one of the most outstanding performances that I think I've ever seen from a 3-year-old sprinting filly. She is a real dynamo and is going to be one of the real stars, I think, of Australasian racing.
A real superstar.
Oh, no doubt. Now, Mystic Morse continuing to firm up here. $5.40. Mystic Morse,
very big winner, Caulfield.
And gets through the ground, which is most important as well. Now, that's Verino. That's one of the other runners spec'd at good odds. Verino's riderless behind the gates, and they're having trouble getting into the stalls. That's Mystic Morse on screen.
Dan, they tell me that Mr. Ron King retires from the VRC today. Ron was course manager here for years till Ross Bradfield took over. He's been with the VRC between something like 40 and 45 years. So, Ron, we wish you all the best, and we still hope to see you around, because you did a great job with these tracks.
Yeah, great career. Congratulations, Ron. Carnival coming to a close, 1999.
Yes. Brett Preble, he's ridden superb. Jimmy Cassidy, Damien Oliver, all the great jockeys that come to the fore. Greg Childs early.
There's dance music, Shane Dye. Shane's been very consistent with a couple of winners, but a lot of place getters throughout the carnival.
Yes, he was a bit unlucky on a couple of them. And then he came out and rode 2 very good winners. There's Brett Preble. What a great carnival he's had.
Inside gate with Slavonic.
As I said, he broke his leg early in the season. Had to come back. He's had all his trouble over in Malaysia. I hope that's resolved. He's done a great job. Gee, a few of these are a bit on the toe in this race, Dan.
A couple of the early horses to go on the gates have been in there for quite a while now, Slavonic and Planet King. We get a little bit closer now.
Yes. Well, all the best to you, Dan, and thanks for great to be with you here.
Last race of the carnival. Blue Gum goes in. Carnival of the VRC. Big day at Sandown next Saturday, though, with their classic. All set. Following with a couple of them. Verino certainly on the toe, all clear given now. And they're racing a fairly good dispatch. Anxiety Attack out the back. Go the Grey jump well. It leads from Fashion News early and then Sorrento. Mystic Morse was handy to those with Lucky Raid. Verino about 6th early. They were followed by Lord Kingston, and next was Planet King from Slavonic, Blue Gum, and then Typhoon Barney. 2 lengths to Dance Music. Anxiety Attack was back last. 1,000 to go. Go the Grey in front. Let a length to Fashion News. Lucky Raid going to 3rd. Mystic Morse is 4th. 1.5 lengths Sorrento. Then Lord Kingston and Verino. 3 lengths to Slavonic. They were followed by Blue Gum wide out. Planet King gives away a bit of ground there. Dance Music going around it. And Anxiety Attack up there in the middle as they approach the turn. 700 to go. And it's Go the Grey in front from Lucky Raid and Fashion News. A length away 4th is another one of the Greys, Mystic Morse, and then came Lord Kingston. Verino's around Sorrento, then Slavonic, Blue Gum, Typhoon Barney. It's about 8 lengths off the lead. Then Anxiety Attack tracking it from Dance Music and Planet King with Blue Gum. Into the straight they head and they scout very wide now. Go the Grey in front of Fashion News. Mystic Morse running up behind with Lord Kingston. Now running on was Typhoon Barney in the pink colours. Verino looking for a run. Go the Grey in front. Mystic Morse and now Slavonic getting through. Lord Kingston, Typhoon Barney wider out, then Sorrento. Mystic Morse and Slavonic together. From out wider, Typhoon Barney. It's Mystic Morse just in front of Slavonic. Mystic Morse ahead in front. Slavonic still coming. Mystic Morse just in front of Slavonic. Mystic Morse is going to hang on and win. Mystic Morse, but we might hear more. He shifted right in over the concluding part. Mystic Morse from Slavonic and Typhoon Barney 3rd, then Sorrento. Blue Gum next in, and then Go the Grey. Dance Music, Lord Kingston. Anxiety Attack, and then Lucky Raid, Fashion News, Verino, and Planet King a distant last.
Yeah, Mystic Morse ridden by Eddie Wilkinson. They did get very close there, but gee, I hope he does keep it, because Eddie Wilkinson, boy, talk about a jockey. He's had his share of bad luck, and he definitely deserves to ride a good winner. But it was interesting to notice that Brett Preble, he sat back on Slavonic, and they cut the corner a bit, these boys. But here they are here. There's Mystic Morse and Slavonic in the blue. The grey horse is Mystic Morse. Now they're right out here, but you can see they get pretty close here. Now, yeah, Mystic Morse is just sort of taking his ground a little bit there. But Brett Preble's still able to ride his horse out. They have got close here again. Still be able to, he's just taken his, they call it, you interpede him with the other jockey's whip action. And he has shifted him in a little bit. And there wouldn't be all that much in it, I don't think, Dan. So you might just hear a little bit about it.
15, 10 and 5 are the official numbers on the last event. They certainly did dart back late towards the inside rail, considering they're beyond the centre of the track there, but they end up probably about 5 or 6 horses away from the inside rail at the winning post.
Yes. And right on the outside is Typhoon Ben in the pink. He sort of, all the boys shifted, and he unfortunately got shifted out, and he lost quite a bit of ground, where these other two have sort of sat back and cut the corner a little bit, which often happens on wet tracks.
Sort of in the crown at the moment. That's where they started the day winning from, and they sort of end the day winning from. But you notice them going back towards the inside rail now.
Yes. Well, yeah, they've shifted in a fair bit. It'll just be whether Brett Preble feels that Mystic Morse has impeded him enough to protest, and wouldn't surprise me if there is a protest here.
It's 15, 10, 5, 4th in number 7, 5th in was number 14. Well, Mystic Morse has only had the 8 runs now, is yet to miss a place. He was eligible for country class prior to today, but I don't think we'll see him going back to the bush again. Mystic Morse, he's city class, and we know for sure he likes the wet tracks. He's been on a slow track twice, and he's been the winner on both occasions. A grey by Toy Pindari, as so many of the greys are. Tony Dinan at Tatura, the trainer, and Eddie Wilkinson won a Group 1 through the earlier part of the carnival at Caulfield on Umrum.
Yes, and he went very close today too, I thought.
He certainly did.
Umrum was a great run, like with the big weight. He fought back well. But as I said, Eddie's had his share of bad luck. He had a lot of falls there the season before last. And he just came back, and so I hope he has ridden the winner.
Okay, these runners are coming back to scale. A little bit of a rain-soaked Flemington. We noticed that they did get pretty close there, Tim, over the concluding part of the race. So we wonder whether it's all over just yet.
Okay.